Welcome, friends. I'm Chandrakant Salunke, founder and president, SME Chamber of India and SME Expert Promotion Council. I would like to thank you for joining this very important webinar on smart solution for SMEs and challenges and opportunities for SMEs post COVID-19. All of you are aware that we are facing a lot problem while sitting at home. We are thinking only of the business, health, and future. Of course, in that doing this one, we have to use the advanced technology. We have to think about what can be done in the future, particularly when we start our business. मोस्टली जैसे कि हम कहते हैं कि आज की डेट में हम लोग घर पर बैठे हैं, हेल्थ का हम ज्यादा ख्याल कर रहे हैं, बट टुमारोज वेल्थ वी हैव टू आल्सो टेक केयर. आज की डेट में मैंने देखा है कि बहुत सारे एसएमई जो स्मॉल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स है, जो मीडियम साइज एंटरप्रेन्योर्स है, बहुत सारे लोगों की फैक्ट्रियां चल नहीं रहे, चालू नहीं हो रही है, या जिनको एसेंशियल प्रोडक्ट है जिसको गवर्नमेंट ने अलाउ किया है वो शुरू करने की कोशिश करे, बट कुछ वर्कर्स नहीं आ रहे, कुछ रॉ मटेरियल नहीं मिल रहा है, कुछ पैमाने में आजू बाजू में कुछ ऐसी दिक्कतें आई है, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चालू नहीं है. ऐसे बहुत सारे कठिनाइयों का सामना करके हमारे एसएमई कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि फैक्ट्री शुरू करें या बिजनेस शुरू करें. बट इस माहौल में देखा जाए तो एक बहुत बड़ी एक्सपेक्टेशन हम गवर्नमेंट से कर रहे हैं. वो क्या है कि पैकेज, एक स्टिमुलस पैकेज की हम मांग कर रहे हैं. बट गवर्नमेंट अभी सोच रही है. आज रात को पीएम साहब का भी एक देश को संदेश आने वाला है, जो एड्रेस करेंगे उसमें क्या अनाउंस करते हैं. बहुत लोगों को चिंता लगी है, लोगों को आशा अपेक्षा लगी है कि क्या आज प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब अनाउंस करेंगे. ये सब मुद्दतें देखने के बाद आप अगर देख रहे होगे कि देखिए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, पर्टिकुलरली मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एमएसएमई, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री बहुत कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हमारे इश्यूज एंड प्रॉब्लम समझे. हमारी जैसी चेंबर है, एसएमई चेंबर ऑफ इंडिया, बहुत सारे इश्यूज सरकार की तरफ ले जा रहे हैं. ताज्जुब की बात है कि मुझे 8 दिन से लगातार मैसेज आ रहे, फोन आ रहे, व्हाट्सएप पर मैसेज भी आ रहे. वो कह रहे हैं कि जब तक गवर्नमेंट हमें कोई ऐसा स्टिमुलस पैकेज नहीं देती है, प्रॉपर प्रैक्टिकल सपोर्ट नहीं देती, हमें लगता है कि हमें फैक्ट्री नहीं शुरू करनी है. उसके कारण है क्यों. एक कारण यह है कि अगर समझो फैक्ट्री शुरू करते हैं तो सरकार हमें दोबारा पूछेगी नहीं, ना हमें कोई सपोर्ट देगी. बैंक का जो इशू है 31 मई तक है. हमने कोशिश किया है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब को लिखकर कि ये सब जो भी इंटरेस्ट डिफर है, मोराटोरियम मिलना चाहिए, 31 मार्च 2020 तक मिलना चाहिए, और रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट कम होना चाहिए. वर्किंग कैपिटल जो है उससे 50 से 30% तक हमें मिलना चाहिए. लेकिन बैंक ने अभी तो 10% देने की बात की है. गडकरी साहब तो लगातार कह रहे हैं 20%, बट बैंक तो मान नहीं रही है. 10% ही वर्किंग कैपिटल दे रहे हैं, उससे भी बहुत डिले कर रहे हैं. बहुत डॉक्यूमेंटेशन वगैरह के लिए डिले हो रहा है, हेडक्वार्टर से उनको मैसेज नहीं आ रहा है. बट ये बात एसएमई सेक्टर के लिए बहुत दुख की बात है कि उनको अगर टाइमली सपोर्ट नहीं मिला तो मुझे बहुत दिक्कतें नजर आ रही है. बहुत सारे एसएमईज ऐसे हैं जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में, सर्विस इंडस्ट्री में, शायद वो अपनी फैक्ट्री शुरू करे ना करे. बहुत सारे वर्कर्स, माइग्रेंट वर्कर चले गए. आपने देखा होगा गुजरात, महाराष्ट्र, कर्नाटक में, तमिलनाडु में कितने वर्कर्स, माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स स्टैंडर्ड ऑन दी रोड, हाईवेज, रेलवे ट्रैक पे खड़े हैं. तो ये जो बहुत ऐसी जो दिक्कतें चल रही है हमारे वर्कर्स की तरफ से, ये मुझे लगता है आने वाले समय का ये बहुत बड़ा अंधकार दिखाई दे रहा है मुझे. क्योंकि अगर वर्कर्स फैक्ट्री में नहीं रहेंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि हमारी फैक्ट्रियां शुरू नहीं होगी, हमारी उन्नति नहीं होगी, हमारी उन्नति नहीं होगी तो देश की उन्नति नहीं होगी. तो एक कहावत है ना कि एसएमई है तो इंडिया है, इंडिया है तो एसएमई आगे बढ़ सकती है. आज अगर वर्ल्ड में हमें मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में अगर चाइना को कॉम्पीट करना है तो हमारे इंडस्ट्री को, हमारे एसएमई सेक्टर को, हमारे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री को एम्पावर करना चाहिए. लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड की जरूरत है. आज देखा जाएगा तो गवर्नमेंट कोशिश कर रही है, लेकिन कोशिश कब तक करेगी. आज 75 साल हम पूरे करने जा रहे हैं अगले 2 साल में, कि 75 साल में भी हम लोग ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में कौन से पायदान पर है, ये भी देखना जरूरी है. तो मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है सरकार से, शायद ये मैसेज उनकी तरफ फेसबुक के माध्यम से या किसी माध्यम से चला जाने वाला ही है. तो एक है कि एसएमई सेक्टर को अगर आप बढ़ावा देते हो तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन होती है. एसएमई सेक्टर को आप बढ़ावा देते हो तो आज एक्सपोर्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन बढ़ सकता है. एसएमई सेक्टर को अगर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में आगे बढ़ने के लिए सपोर्ट किया जाए तो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में हम बहुत आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. आज एसएमईज खुद का कैपिटल डाल के, कम से कम 80% एसएमईज इंडिया में ऐसे हैं कि खुद का कैपिटल डाल के आज वो अपना बिजनेस चला रहे हैं. कितने एसएमईज आज अपना बिजनेस चलाती है जो बिना बैंक का कर्जा लिए। आपको ताज्जुब होगा, 75 लाख करोड़ रुपीस आज पूरी तरह से गवर्नमेंट ने बांटा है इंडस्ट्री में। उसमें सिर्फ 14% एमएसएमई का एनपीए है और उसमें 46% एनपीए है कॉरपोरेट का। तो इसका मतलब सोचिए कि आज हमारे एसएमईज परफेक्टली बैंकिंग करते हैं, परफेक्टली बैंक का इंटरेस्ट भरते हैं, बैंक को पैसा दे रहे हैं। तो सरकार ने इस तरफ ज्यादा ध्यान देने की जरूरत है कि एसएमई सेक्टर को टाइमली फंडिंग अगर मिलता है तो हम हमारा ऑपरेशन बढ़ा सकते हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर को बढ़ावा दे सकते हैं और एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन करने के लिए बहुत सारा हम सरकार को फायदा भी दे सकते हैं। कितने सालों से हम 45% इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्ट का आउटपुट कर ही रहा है और फिगर आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा है। 48-49% हम लोग एक्सपोर्ट तक पहुंचे हुए हैं, वो आगे क्यों नहीं बढ़ रहा है? तो सरकार की तरफ से मेरी एक उम्मीद ऐसी है, मेरी एक अपेक्षा ऐसी है कि एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन के लिए, क्योंकि देखिए आने वाला पल, आने वाले अगले 2-3 साल चाइना कोई भी हालत में बहुत सारे कंट्री में एंट्री लेना बड़ा मुश्किल होगा। और इंडिया के बारे में हर कंट्री में, हर देश में एक अच्छा लगाव है, एक अच्छा अट्रैक्शन है। तो मुझे लगता है कि यही मौका है एसएमई सेक्टर को बढ़ावा देने के लिए, यही मौका है एसएमई सेक्टर को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, और यही मौका गवर्नमेंट को भी है कि सरकार अगर सपोर्ट करती है, गवर्नमेंट अगर सपोर्ट करती है तो हमारे एसएमईज आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। तो फ्रेंड्स, इसी शब्द के साथ मैं आपका दोबारा आपका सबका वेलकम करता हूँ। मैं जानबूझकर हिंदी में बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि बहुत सारे फेसबुक पे या हमें जो देखने वाले हैं वो जो हिंदी ज्यादा पसंद करते हैं। बट ऑल ऑफ यू स्पीकर, यू कैन स्पीक इन इंग्लिश, यू कैन गिव अ प्रेजेंटेशन इन इंग्लिश, दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम। अनदर पॉइंट, दोज आर ज्वाइन टुडे, ज्वाइन नाउ फॉर दिस वेबिनार, आपके क्वेश्चंस, आपके सजेशंस बार बार इसमें आप डालते जाइए, क्योंकि आपके क्वेश्चंस, आपके सुझाव जब तक हमारे पास नहीं आते, हम सरकार के पास कैसा झगड़ा करेंगे? जैसे कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने हमें 27 दिसंबर को बुलाया था, जो हमारी बातें सुनी थी, आधे घंटे का टाइम दिया था, 3 घंटे तक हमारी बातें सुनते रहे। इसका कारण, इसका महत्व यह है कि उन्हें भी इच्छा है हमारे इश्यूज, प्रॉब्लम को सेटल करने। गडकरी साहब लगातार कम से कम वेबिनार से लोगों से बात कर रहे हैं, अच्छा सुझाव दे रहे हैं, अच्छा सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, कॉन्फिडेंस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। बट कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ साथ हम उनसे एक अपेक्षा कर रहे हैं कि प्रैक्टिकल सपोर्ट, यही प्रैक्टिकल सपोर्ट हमारी उम्मीद बढ़ा सकता है। और यही प्रैक्टिकल सपोर्ट मैं भी आपको चेंबर के माध्यम से देना चाहूंगा। अगर आप मेंबर बनते हो, अगर हमारे सर्विसेज लेते हो, तो इस तरह से अगर आप आगे बिजनेस बढ़ाना चाहते हो, एक्सपोर्ट बढ़ाना चाहते हो, तो हमारा एसएमई चेंबर ऑफ इंडिया आपको सदा सपोर्ट करते रहेगा। आपके कठिनाइयों के टाइम पर हम आपको साथ दे सकते हैं, कठिनाई के टाइम आपको सहयोग दे सकते हैं और सहकार्य कर सकते हैं। इसी शब्दों के साथ मैं दोबारा आपको सबका वेलकम करता हूँ। And I request Mr. Dheeraj Kuriel, IoT Cloud and Sales of Tata Tele Business Services Solution Engineering segment के आपका प्रेजेंटेशन दीजिए। Particularly, this is very important time now, जब हम लोग घर पर बैठते हैं, कोई ऐसे टाइम पर वेबिनार हो या कम्युनिकेशन बिल्ड हो, तो आईटी एंड इंटरनेट के सिवा, आईटी सपोर्ट के ना इंटरनेट के सिवा कुछ नहीं कर सकते। तो आईटी का हमारे जीवन में, हमारे बिजनेस में, हमारे कम्युनिकेशन में बहुत बड़ा हाथ है। तो इसी उम्मीद के साथ आई रिक्वेस्ट श्री धीरज कुरियल टू कम इन दिस प्लेटफॉर्म एंड गिव योर थॉट्स। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much, Mr. Saluke sir. My name is Dheeraj Kuril. I am solution engineer from Tata Teleservices Business Services. You have rightly said, during this particular time, each and everyone is looking forward to.
Dheeraj, unmute yourself. Dheeraj, unmute yourself.
I have unmuted. Is my voice audible? Right. Thank you. Okay. During this particular time, it is definitely a particular time wherein we are looking forward to connect with your customers and our respective employees. So if you are talking about this particular solution during this current scenario, it has made us all imperative to learn and new things, the new things of doing business. We all want to get into the digital platform, right? And we also are looking forward to use the collaborative platforms to speak to the concerned person, connect with our workforce employees, to connect with our customers, and on the same particular agenda, which is looking forward for the collaboration I'm going to speak upon certain things, the solution that we have designed for the SME customers, keeping in mind. I've shared my screen. Hope it is visible to everyone. Right. Thank you. So we'll be covering these current topics, which is the current business reality, what has been explained by Mr. Saluke sir. Why there is a need of collaboration tools that we require, the collaboration platforms that we see, and then we'll look forward for the question and answer session. Right. Current business scenario was like everyone was coming to the office. They were looking forward to connect with their respective teams. They used to do their reviews in their offices. They used to the HR used to drive their employee engagement and the development programs for their respective team members. So the scenario was like everyone were called to the office. They used to the meeting room. They used to meet with their customers or their respective team members, and then they started to look forward to connect with their respective team members. I was discussing on the current business reality where people are looking forward to connect with their employees and with their customers by inviting them to their offices. And when due to the COVID-19 situation, pandemic situation, so everyone is working from home. So that is a question in everyone's mind. So how do we collaborate with our employees? How do we do the customer meetings? How do we do the reviews? Right? There are certain industries who are still working and they are working with a partial load, and they will definitely look forward to connect with their customers on a regular basis because they don't want to lose this opportunity. Because once the lockdown session is over, everyone would like to come back to the job once again and look forward to connect with their customers. So this is a very crucial time that you keep engaged with your customers on a regular basis, right? What are the advantages of getting in the collaboration tool? When we're looking at the cost part, right? Since you're not traveling to the customer, so you're reducing your travel cost as well as also you're saving the environment by reducing the carbon footprints that are you are actually transmitting if you're doing the necessary needful things by traveling with your vehicle or using different modes of transport. Since you're not traveling, so you can utilize that time to be more productive, to engage with your customers, colleagues, partners, and you can do the virtual meeting with everyone. With the help of collaboration tools, you can actually reach to the customers who are spread across multiple geographies. So right now, what we are doing is we are trying to using the social digital platform, and we have requested the participants to join from with the help of social networking sites, and they can actually join this session pan India from wherever they are looking forward to connect to this conference solution, right? And also we can use this tool to educate our current workforce on a newer technology which the management can take a particular decision, or during the schools and colleges where they would like to connect with their customers, and they would like to actually train their students on a different topics. So you can use this digital platform as a solution to connect and collaborate with each and everyone. So when we are looking, so there are different types of meetings usually on the fly. When we are tracking, we are having certain reviews, have vendors calls, we have consultation calls. It might happen, if I'm not having a good connectivity on the internet. So I would like to look forward for an alternate connection to join the meeting. Like we have this audio conferencing solution when either I'm on the move, or let us say if I'm at a particular location due to current situation where I'm not having a good internet connectivity, right? I should be able to share my screen, present files with my respective team members where they can actually look at the screen, and we can do the needful. I should be able to connect with a larger customer base, and that should be no physical barriers. Like I should be able to connect to the customers who are present in multiple geographies, and keeping into the consideration this solution has been designed by Tata Daily Business Services, right? So how it is helping to your organization, right? So you can just click on a particular link, you can join the session, you can share this link with multiple people. All these people can just click on this particular link, and they can join the particular session which has been hosted by the presenter, right? The presenter can share the screen, and they can also connect with the VoIP calls with their respective audiences. Uh, you can be present virtually, uh, like I said, you can connect to multiple geographies. So you have a presentation, you can be present physically. Instead of physical presence, you can be present virtually across all the all the geographies with your respective team members. You can conduct reviews, you can record meetings, you can share these recorded meetings with your team members as and when required. And or post lockdown, if you would like to review on these sessions what is the discussion happened, so you can keep those sessions with you in your desktop or in laptop, right? So what is the current solution that we are having? The Tata Tele Business Services audio and web collaboration solution that we are offering to our customers. It is actually a platform which connects to the entire customers. So we do unlimited conferencing. So there is a small monthly rental that we charge. And with this monthly rental, you can do unlimited conferencing. We have a participant limit of 125 participants. So there is a big number, 125 participants can connect to the conference, and they can speak with the respective audiences, respective hosts, and connect with their respective teams. We have a wide reach. We have international dial-in access from 80 countries and with more than 130 access numbers. So what does it mean is, we have any person who is available in any of those 80 countries. Let us say due to some VoIP issues, he is not able to connect the web conferencing solution. He can use the audio conferencing solution with a local cost, right? So let us say there is a person who is based out in Canada or United States or in Mexico or UK in London, or he's based out in some certain Africa region countries, and he wants to connect to the conference. So he can use the local dial-in bridge to connect to the conference, right? We have rich features like sharing the screen. We can do multiple chats. We can record the entire session. We can replay the meetings, and all that is happening across a secure connection, right? Right now, since everyone is looking forward to connect with their customers on a digital platform, so one thing which all we need to consider is the security. And based on this security, you can connect to our customers. So we have to ensure that any platform that we are using, it has to be highly secure. And Tata Tele solution is a highly secure platform to connect with your customers. We have the desktop application, we have the mobile application where through which you can connect to the conferences. It can also be integrated with your Outlook as an add-in solution. And with the Outlook, you can connect, you can create direct meetings, you can send meeting requests to your customers, and you can track the persons who have joined to the respective meetings with that Outlook add-ins. The features of web conferencing that we shared is, you have the personalized meeting rooms which can accommodate 125 persons at a time. We have flexible audio options, like you can use my phone option or use my computer option. Use my phone option is, let us say you want to connect the audio with your telephone number. So we have this facility where the server will call you directly from your mobile to your mobile number, and you can get connected to the conference. So we have this flexible option to connect to the conferencing solution. We have an instant meeting access, so you can just copy the URL, you can paste it in the browser. If you're not able to download that desktop application, right, you can actually look forward to use the same integration that is available in the desktop application. The same thing is available in the browser. So it is a very user-friendly experience that is gives to the person who is connecting with different modes and mediums. Content sharing is very easy. Just with a click of a button, you can share your screen, you can share that application, or you can share your webcam. You can record the entire sessions. We have 24/7 support, which is available in this particular solution. which is available in local languages as well. So if you're looking forward, if you're facing any challenges, you can reach to our 24/7 support team who can help you support with a solution. Apart from that, we also have the customers who are based out across different globes. We have the solution to connect with the help of phone, email, or chat with the respective support agent, and they can help the customer to resolve that issue then and there, right? Since this device is connected to work on multiple devices, like mobile phones, desktop application. So desktop application, when I'm referring, it is also referring to the laptops. You can download this application in your mobile phone or your laptop, and you can also connect with the browser, and it will give them seamless connectivity. So these are some of the screen that you actually see across. So where what we are saying to you is, we have the HD quality video and the audio, which is through which the voice and the video is shared across with the respective team members, right? And you have got all in one console, so the host can view the number of participants who have joined. He can log the meeting so that unauthorized persons cannot join this particular meeting. The person who is sharing his, the person who is speaking, his name is available at the center of the screen always. Towards the right, there is an option of help and support. You can get directly the help and support from the chat window or through an email support, which is available 24/7. The person, if you're coming to the center of the screen, the person who is talking, who is the active speaker, his name is highlighted with a blue border. So through which you can actually come to see who is the speaker, who is talking, right? We have certain controls which are available for the meeting controls, where you can mute yourself, you can share your camera, you can share your screen, I can start the recording, right? So there are certain meeting controls which are easily available for both host as well as the guests. This is the chat panel through which the chat can session happen. This chat is visible to all the audiences, all the participants who have joined this session, right? If you are looking forward to share your screen, we have multiple options where you can either share your screen, or you can also look forward to share a particular window as and when required. Also, there is an option of file presentation. If you use the file presentation option, you can upload the particular file in the cloud, and which can be shared and accessed by all the audiences who have joined the particular session, right? To coming across, there are some of the few esteemed customers who are look forward to take this particular solution. I look forward to connect across different segments, the customer base who are actually connected to, who have actually took this particular solution. When you're talking about this particular solution, this is a simple retail chain who wanted to connect with all their customers, all their teammates for related to internal discussion. So they wanted to have an audio and a web collaborative solution, and hence this particular solution was able to resolve their issues to connect with their respective teams with their monthly fixed charges. So this is the main USP of our product, and through which the customer took this particular solution. One of the customer from the construction industry, where they have multiple projects, and being the owner, they actually wanted to connect to their customers, like connect with their respective team members, try to understand whether the construction is going across or it has been halted. So they took over this audio conferencing solution, audio plus web conferencing solution, which was very simple for everyone to use. They had this dialogue feature available through which they could have connected to their respective team members, wherein those members who are at a very far off location, and the internet connectivity is a challenge. So they use the dialogue features to connect with their respective team members. Similarly, a customer from the manufacturing segment who has multiple offices across various locations across the globe. So they took the audio plus web conferencing solution, and they are happily connected with your team members with a monthly fixed rental, right? Even the customers who are joining this solution, they are happy because they have this option. They can join with the VoIP solution, or they can connect with the audio bridge with a local cost to them. Similarly, from the education industry, which is like one of the major industries where we discuss, customers are looking forward to connect to their respective team, all the students, to educate them with newer technologies, because they don't want the education segment to stop. They have customers are looking forward to take this entire solution to connect with their teams and present uh, and teach their students on a regular basis. Similarly, looking for a customer from the banking industry, they wanted to connect with their daily team members, because at the moment 33% workforce has been allowed by the government, and there are few people who are joining to the offices on a regular alternate day basis. So they have took this conferencing solution to connect with their respective team members. Again, a government customer who wanted to connect with their respective team members. So they took this particular solution, they subscribed to our solution with a fixed monthly class charges, and they are very happily using this session for Global Meet. Again, a customer from the healthcare industry, they wanted to connect across various countries, like they wanted to connect with their schools, they wanted to connect with their hospitals globally, and they took our VoIP based solution and they tested this solution for a couple of days. They were happy with the results, and then they finally have taken forward to connect with their customers, as well as the internal for their internal team meetings. Again, the same with a manufacturing company who wanted to connect with their respective team members and the customers. So it's like, when we're trying to showcase this particular thing, we want to emphasize that, there is no particular industry vertical segments, which we have not catered across. And collaboration is such a platform that will be required by each and every industry segments to connect with their respective set of customers, right? So we should not have this intention that the collaborative platform is mentioned only for a specific set of industry segments. It can be used by all across all the segments which are available, right? So with this, I would like to conclude my session. Thank you very much for everyone being listening to my solution. And possibly, if you are having any questions or queries, we can definitely take this.
Thank you, Mr. Dheeraj. I think it was indeed a good presentation on the technology side. That really helped us to understand the need of the hour. And technology indeed is something which is going to be an integral or indispensable part of the entire business activity going forward. As a SME Chamber of India and as an entrepreneur, I think I personally connect to this specific thing very, very well, because when we talk about social distancing, what we also essentially mean is technology is going to be the platform which will actually drive or which will be a booster to the entire economy going forward. So thank you so much. In case if we have questions on the technology side and the solution that you have presented, I would urge all the participants, attendees, and if anyone from the speakers end can always probably raise a hand and raise those questions, or can also mention in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think coming back to the agenda or the core agenda behind today's event, some of the good things I think what we are hearing all across is a lot of challenges, a lot of negativities around. Some of the good things for a change that I felt we should also discuss, may not be directly related to the industries, but definitely at some point of time, definitely throw some light for us. I think more or less the good part is the very, very, very first good thing is that all of us have united for a change, either by force or by compulsion. But we are fighting against a common enemy. So unlike the two world wars which have already happened, here we have just one enemy, COVID-19, and all of us are united against our in our fight against this enemy. For a change, India is supposed we are supposed to be a noisy nation. We've become very very quiet. The streets are deserted. We see greenery all around. So a lot of beautiful nature is visible. Suddenly we've started realizing the difference between essential and non-essential. We've become more, I'll say, more sensitive to consumption. We've started understanding the difference between actually spending on genuine stuff and the non-genuine stuff. So an opportunity to rethink a retonic activity. There are Chandrakant sir was also mentioning in his speech. Uh, we as a country, I think, as compared to the Western countries, we've largely been able to control the impact of COVID-19. I think where we are talking about in such a vast population, uh, uh, we are talking about a mortality rate of close to less than 3%. We are talking about a rate which is going home hale and hearty, which is again in the range of close to 20%, which definitely has been commended by WHO and a lot of other countries as well. uh, Also tells us that even on the medical side, to an extent, we've been able to so-called determine or so-called, probably practice the right treatment protocol. Uh, on the other side, if you look at the other good things, we are talking about, sir just mentioned about, a lot of companies uprooting out of China, which also means that, China, and when we talk about the difference between China and India, in terms of the overall consumption, I think we stand better to China as a country, with close to 53, 54% of consumption as against, 42, 43% of consumption in China. So that means even as a population, as a country, I think our own consumption will be capable of driving the demand going forward once the economy slightly gets rolling, which is a very, very important part for us as a country. And that's where the entire fundamental lies, and a lot of Western economies and countries out, different countries are trying to bet on India or bet on a country like us. Second, we have a population where the median age is around 28, 30 years as compared to China. So that means we are a younger population, and there are larger chances that the companies outside, economies outside will bet on a country like ours. We've just seen amidst the lockdown, one of the biggest deal in India, especially on the e-platform, which is the Geo deal, which has just happened. That gives a lot of confidence to all of us, as a part of the Indian economy, stating that there is a lot of confidence of people outside India in investing in a country like India. So we are talking about some significant uprooting of companies from China, which will be shifted to India. All your US manufacturers, Japanese manufacturers, and that's where the government has gone all out, has declared a 52 lakh hectares of land, is planning green zone belt, right on the Delhi Bombay highway, which has been planned. So there is a significant investment anyway that the countries have started announcing for India. That means we, going forward, in case if we are well prepared as a country right now in terms of infrastructure, in terms of actually containment of this disease COVID-19, in terms of social distancing and other measures, probably we will be one of those first economies to come out of this crisis at this point of time. Other good point is, we as a country, our dependence on agriculture is significantly high. We are agriculture contributes close to 18% to the overall GDP, which is a fairly high contribution. That means Rabi was well, and the other agriculture crop is also expected to do well. So that means we are still talking about a huge agriculture dependent population, which will also be able to generate money in their hands, and which will also drive consumption. Now, these are some of the good things. which have happened. Challenges that we foresee at this point of time, I think, as compared to Western economies, we as a country have always struggled on the debt side, debt to GDP. Uh, Unlike Western economies who've declared a package of close to 20%, 15%, 10%, we as a country have a very, very meager package of close to 0.5%, which has come up till now. The RBI also went ahead, revised the reverse repo rate to 3.76. The repo rate has been kept consistent at 4.4, which essentially also means that we are expecting the cost of the credit to get cheaper in India, and more SMEs and more MSMEs can go ahead and avail the credit. But again, the fundamental is also going to be who all get this credit. What are the, in case if there are parameters which are being changed for SMEs to avail this credit facility going forward? I think all those are bigger questions on the execution part. And that's where I think Chandrakant sir rightly said, we are looking at a practical roadmap or a practical solution to the entire problem, and which we as a chamber had also raised in our last session with Mr. Nitin Gadkari. The other part that we foresee, I think RBI has taken further and made further announcements of rolling out some close to 50,000 crores in the TLTRO format, which will again be given to NBFCs and microfinance companies so that it actually gets to in the hands of SMEs and the end users or the small time traders who are a big part of who are driving this economy. Traditionally, SMEs and MSMEs put together have been said to contribute almost close to 55-60% to the employment. So that means there is a large dependency of this entire nation on SMEs and MSMEs, and this just can't be ignored at any cost. In terms of population, we are talking about close to 2.5 crores of registered SMEs, and I would say because of the COVID must have impacted close to 60% of the population or 60% of the population of SMEs. There is a protracted demand, I would say. The demand, and in the first quarter, which will be pretty evident, the revenues would have at least skewed down by close to 40-50% because of the demand going down. Bigger challenges that we are witnessing in terms of manpower as of now, two biggest challenges that the SME sector is facing. One is capital, which is again a very, very scarce resource. Even before the COVID pandemic, we as a country, we were struggling in terms of capital. There were recapitalization for banks that happened. Now, COVID-19 has put probably all the more pressure on the entire, the economic crisis that we as a country we were going through. So, if you look at the monetary fund, which is anyway looked at revising our rating to close to 1.5, which is expected now. Uh, all this is going to put, I would say, a lot of pressure on the government. It's a very, very complex problem and will need a complex solution in terms of what exactly to be done in terms of financial stimulus. Not much has been done till now in terms of 0.5 percentage. Uh, the government has just called for an extent or an enhancement in the borrowing. The good part is that in case once the borrowing is made, we can expect probably 0.9 to 1% of additional stimulus as a part of GDP, which is going to be allocated, which again will be a significant driver as far as the entire fuel is concerned, the high octane fuel in terms of capital which is needed for SMEs to come up. So most of the SMEs, even after a month or two, even if they open up, they will be facing challenges in terms of workforce because most of the laborers have migrated. The laborers are still migrating. We don't see them returning back, down the line could be 6 months until and unless there are major announcement or steps taken by the government in terms of giving them a surety on the income side, giving them a surety could be on the health side, or giving them a lot of surety on the protection, or could be the social welfare benefit and etc. All these are going to be very, very significant in driving. SMEs will start from, I would say, to an extent, zero fuel. because we will again be struggling to probably build demand. Larger demand cycle will pick up once the lockdown ends and people come out of their homes. Till then, it is more of essential items, which anyway ours is circulating right now. Probably with the e-commerce once again getting back into the picture, we could see some more non-essential goods, the demand going up for the non-essential goods. With some money which will flow in the system when we are talking about in terms of stimulus package, we definitely expect probably the government and the banks, the financial institutions to take a lenient view towards SMEs and MSMEs in terms of could be looked at a balance sheet based funding rather than a collateral based funding and etc. So we will have to redefine this entire process of standing up as an economy or as a country. So I would call this probably rebooting this economy, as we rightly said. We are, as a country, we are close to 2.8 trillion dollar economy, and the overall impact of this pandemic globally is expected to be 5.7 trillion. So, which in itself is going to put a lot of pressure on us. In terms of exports, I would say with most of the bigger countries that we are involved in, there is a trade deficit that we have. That means for every 100 rupees of import, we only export close to 40 rupees, most of the countries. We are one of the largest consumptions, largest uh, we have been the largest absorber of, let's say, arms and ammunitions, which is defense products. But then, in terms of manufacturing capacities, we stand nowhere. So that means, as PM has also come up a lot of times and said that this is the time which is teaching us to become a self-sustaining economy. So there are opportunities, there will be opportunities for SMEs and MSMEs probably to integrate forward, backward, redefine their business cycles, add technology, reduce cost, probably will have to look at a very, very lean business model, but will also come across a lot of new opportunities in terms of production or in terms of manufacturing. So, which is going to be the key going forward? In terms of threat, I personally feel that the largest threat we as an economy or MSME can face in case if the COVID lockdown extends significantly, or if we see probably a lapse of the cycle that WHO has been talking about for a lot of other countries. In case if that happens and there is a severe lockdown, which is again observed instead of the phase-wise restarting which is expected, that might put additional pressure on SMEs and all of us. So I think we'll have to be somewhere down the line prepare and understand that COVID or 19 now is going to be a part of this entire genre. We will have to live with social distancing going forward and taking care of ourselves, taking care of our employees, our workers, laborers, and ensuring that their risk protection is going to be something which largely we will live by as SMEs. Uh, the next speaker, Mr. Yashesh Sampath, I feel to an extent is going to throw a lot of light on the subject of specifically when we talk about protecting our employees, protecting our laborers, etc., etc. Uh, so thank you so much. I would probably invite Chandrakant sir once again, probably to have say a few words and give his opinion on the overall situation right now. Thank you, sir. So you are not audible.
Sir, you are not audible.
Yes.
Still, you are not audible, sir.
Okay. Now,
Yeah, you can audible now.
Mr. Chaudhary is on. He's in now. Chaudhary साहब अलग करे.
No, he is not yet logged in.
Not yet. Okay. So, Ravi, thank you for your very, very interesting, very important suggestions and thoughts. Now I invite Mr. Yashash Champat, who is the head of this, association business and affinity of insurance advisory services of Edelweiss Gallagher Insurance Brokers Limited. I hand over to you, Yashash, to give importance and the beneficial, benefits for the SME sector during this COVID. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chandrakantji, for inviting me for today's webinar. And I would want to make it very, very simple, which is realistic and which is a need of the hour for every SME today. I'm Yashesh Sampath from Edelweiss Gallagher Insurance Brokers, and I head the affinity and association business. And relationship with SME chambers has been very long, and for many, many years, we want to add value to the SME's business risk. As Chandrakantji set the tone, today insurance is very, very essential for every SME. And right now, what you would want to look at it is predominantly how you can care for yourself and your employees and their family. That is the healthcare, right? I'm not trying to keep any presentation here to impress you upon that who we are or what we are and all. We want to make it very, very lively for you, very simple for you, and talk to you in the lines of what the guidelines ministry has given. MHA on 15th April came up with a guideline that every work establishment shop, if they have to start their operations, they have to have a medical insurance which is compulsory. And predominantly, any SME in India which you take is not having health insurance which is offered to its employees or its workers. And in such a scenario like a COVID or a pandemic, it is highly essential that that is a need of the hour. Otherwise, the cost of that treatment, if it comes on SME, it is a huge, huge, huge financial loss, and you will not be in a position to take care of the healthcare costs available. And post the guidelines which have come in of MHA, Edelweiss Gallagher, along with SME chambers, did a lot of awareness across India, and with Mahesh and Sakshi and team, we reached out to 10,000 plus SMEs in India. More than 1.5 lakh SMEs approach us to different forums, and the need is health insurance. Now you will wonder that what should be the policy which should be taken today? Is MHA saying anything compulsory? Should I go for 5 lakh cover? Should I go for 50,000 cover? Should I go for a 25,000 cover? The answer is you are the best judge to yourself. You know today if there's a healthcare cost in any hospital in India, your minimum COVID cost of treatment is not less than 2 lakh rupees, which has been seen right now. And for SME Chambers of India members, we have been extremely supportive in terms of even if you have 7 workers or 7 employees working with you, you can take your own company's group mediclaim insurance, which covers COVID, which covers non-COVID claims also from first day of taking the policy. You can't have somebody who is already COVID and then you come and take the policy. But if you decide to take a policy, say from tomorrow, any claims which comes from tomorrow onwards will be covered under the group medical policy, which has been given to SME Chamber of India members and all those people who are hearing this today. Now, in addition to that, you may also think that what will be the healthcare costs? Should it be not a burden on me that I should take a 1 lakh ka cost or a 2 lakh ka cost or a 3 lakh ka cost? Trust me, today, especially after the COVID pandemic, insurance sectors has been really supportive. And at just 1,500 rupees a year, you can get a comprehensive medical policy for 1 lakh rupees coverage per person. A 2 lakh coverage is not less than 2.5K, and you can have a 2 lakh health insurance for your employees or workers, assuming an average age of 30-35 years in India. Some SMEs came back to us and said that I don't want to take a medical policy comprehensive. can I take a COVID policy only? Yes, answer is you can only take a COVID policy, and it starts from some insured like 50,000 rupees, and it can go to 3 lakh rupees a year. Okay, with no room rent cappings or nothing of that sort. And the price is just for a 3 lakh cover, it costs 1900 rupees only, including taxes in a year. At 3 lakhs in a private healthcare in India with no room rent capping, if you can get a policy at 1900 rupees, you would want to invest that 1900 and protect your business risk if tomorrow a major liability comes. I and Chandrakantji were just talking few minutes back before the webinar. In one of the industrial estate in Bombay, we got to know about an establishment which opened its operations, okay, with some 30-40 people, and has just mandatorily taken a 25,000 rupees coverage, okay. And there was unfortunate one COVID claim in that. The entire 30 people's health checkup costs plus the cost of treatment for them if they are found positive is all going to come on that MSME who had taken that policy for just 30 people at some 25,000 coverage per head. So if you are in a position to invest for your people and invest for your business, to start the operations, to call the workers back, to call your employees back to work, today they want an emotional and a financial security that SME Chamber of India has facilitated for its members, for its partners, a very, very competitive cover which is available for me. And I'm having a cashless coverage all over India too. Okay. Please don't be under that impression that 1 month down the line, if my operations will start, I may take a policy then. God forbid, if the pandemic cases shoot up, especially in a city like Mumbai or Maharashtra or in Gujarat, there is a very, very high possibility that insurance companies may reduce the coverage to be offered or increase the premium rates. Under a group policy, they hold entire right to do that. And you don't have individual pandemic only COVID policies easily available. Now, many SMEs came back to us and said, can I have a lump sum amount being given to my employee if he has a COVID positive? Yes, a 50,000 rupees lump sum COVID amount can be given at just 500 rupees. So 7 people in your company covered for 3.5 lakhs total at just 3,500 rupees a year. Won't you as an SME want to invest that for your business? Won't you want to have a security in terms of regulatory guidelines if tomorrow they come back on you? Because the moral responsibility of any business owner, whether it is a SME, whether it's an MSME, or it's a large corporate in India, is on the business owner to take care of his people. You will follow all the best sanitization measures. You'll have the best hygienes available. But still, if an employee or a worker is coming to your workplace, on the way he gets COVID, or at the workplace he gets COVID, and if he says that, sir, because of you, you calling me at workplace, I got COVID, pay me the money, an SME who is very emotionally connected with his worker or his employee would want to pay that money from his own pocket. And at that time of 50,000 rupees or a 1 lakh rupees is a huge, huge pinch for you to do that. We have come across multiple SMEs, which I mentioned to you. I don't want to market myself or my company that buy an insurance from me. This is a pandemic time for everybody of us. And insurance is the biggest tool, which is the need of the hour. Look to insurance as a tool to protect your business exposures. Look to insurance healthcare to protect your balance sheets. Look to a simple SME package insurance, which we have structured for SME Chamber of India members to cover your assets, to cover it from burglary. In a month's time, you'll have monsoon. And God forbid if there are major calamities. And if you have forgotten to insure your business in this rush of flood, then that is another pain on you. So our team members at Edelweiss Gallagher, Gaurav Chauhan, Upasana Mandal, who already licensed with SME Chamber of India members, I would request Mahesh to please share their contact details on the chat history and people can reach out. Otherwise, you can all make a note of an email ID sme.insurance@edelweissfin.com. EDELWEISSFIN.com. And post this webinar, The SME Chamber of India members, to all those people who have registered, will be sharing also a presentation which we had made for this. My only advice to you is, please take care of yourself, take care of your employees, take care of your workers, and use insurance as a tool to protect your healthcare increasing costs and a liability which can come anytime during the entire year. COVID is not going to go away in 15 days' time through a miracle. That can always hover you over the entire year. And if you have a policy taken now for the entire year, you are safe and secure. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Yashasvi. I think it was a very, very valuable input from your end, talking about protection for employees, for workers, and also for the SMEs as a whole. I think it definitely calls. It's going to be an integral part of the way SMEs can look at mitigating their losses. SMEs can actually look at functioning going forward. It has already been a part of the entire theoretical aspect in our country, whereas it has not been practiced so far, which has been well practiced in countries outside. I think there are genuine norms even before starting up an organization. And for all the functioning, you have to have insurances and the basics in place. I think which is going to be the need of the hour also for a country like ours. And with such a crisis, pandemic, and with being there into picture, I think even going forward, probably we'll have to change the way we look at insurance. So rather than becoming probably a product or probably only a need, which is a staggered need, this largely has to be looked from a different perspective and has to become the most important part of expense for SME owner.
Raviji, I recollect the insurance summit which we did at Sofitel, where you, Chandrakant ji, made this as a panel discussion topic with us. And at
Correct.
that point of time, we had brought out this topic that even if you take a bare minimum SME insurance for healthcare, how it can protect your business owners from this. The value of that product is now. And if it can be actually still bought, it is a great tool which SME Chamber of India members have got it. And I would appeal all the SMEs, all the associations, all the MSMEs who are a part of this webinar and who are not also a part and who can hear this out. Please look to this as a bare minimum essential today. वो बोलते हैं ना रोटी कपड़ा मकान और साथ में हेल्थ केयर.
Very correct. Very correct. Definitely agree. Thank you so much, Yashesh Sampath-ji, and I think I'm sure your suggestions and your advice is going to be sought after. People can also, our members and participants can individually come back to you. There have been few chat responses also, which we'll try to address towards the end of the session.
Sure.
Going forward, I think now I would want to or like to invite Shri A.K. Chaudhary ji. Mr. Mahesh, can you confirm? I hope Mr. A.K. Chaudhary ji now has joined the session.
Invite Mr. Puneet.
Okay. So we'll now have Mr. Puneet Prajapati. Mr. Puneet Prajapati is a tax consultant and expert in taxes, especially as far as GST and the other tax compliance and statutory dues are concerned. I would request Mr. Puneet Prajapati to take it forward. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is Puneet from Ahmedabad. Let me directly jump to my topic, GST and SMEs. I'm sharing the slides first so that we can discuss to that points only. Please pardon me for a minute. Okay, are everybody able to see it? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, GST is, let me tell you that what is the scene is that overall it is good for SMEs, particularly in a longer time because it has made people organized and it has made the people able to compete with the global players. But in a shorter time or a shorter duration, or for some particular areas where the GST is basically a very difficult for a SME sector. I will like to discuss that also first, right? First of all, it is a very high compliance-based law, which is very difficult for an SME to comply with. Say the payment, every month you have to make the payment, every month you have to make 2 returns, every month you have to make 2 returns, out of that one is invoice-wise. So earlier, before GST, it was possible that at year end, during the March, we were closing our accounts and we were doing everything. So that is not possible in a GST. Now we have to do it on a monthly basis rather. So it is very high compliance based. If you don't comply it within a time, you will be ending paying up the amount of penalties and interest, which is exorbitant at a rate of 18%. So SMEs very challenge in a GST is that you have to be very compliant based. Another thing for a GST is that it is overall it is an 18% right now for almost all the product. 97% of the product are covered under 18%. 18% of a sale price. It means that you need really a very high amount of a working capital and cash flow, which is really a difficult, or which is really a problem currently due to the corona situation. So the GST is very, it needs a very high amount of cash flow and working capital, which is right now not there in this situation. So that is going to be a big challenge for an SMEs to comply with the GST law, unless there is something positive coming out from the government to make some ease of doing the business as far as the GST is concerned, right? Another issues, I am directly going to that. What recent developments, I will just give you an example or give you overview of recent developments which are there in a GST. Returns and payments are deferred in the GST, as everybody knows. Generally, the due date is the 30th June. First of all, let me tell you, it is a very complex that everybody is not able to understand what is the due date actually. If you want to really understand, or I can share you that one chart, and which will be a very difficult for. This is the chart from where you can understand what is your position and what is the due date for you actually. So I don't want to discuss all these things, but what is the overall scene is that if your turnover is up to 5 crore rupees, let me tell you, due date of filing the return or payment is not extended practically, but it is provided that if you don't pay your GST dues, there will be no interest for first 15 days if your turnover is greater than 5 crore rupees in a previous year. If you delay more than 15 days, interest will be levied at a rate of 9% against an 18% which is generally prevailing. So that is also good, but these condition or these both benefits are coming with a rider that you have to comply it, or you have to file your return and make the payment of taxes on or before 24th June 2020. So if you don't do anything up to the 24th June 2020, this entire benefit will go, and from 25th June you have to pay 18% interest from very first day of delay. So that is the one rider you have to please keep in mind. Second is, if your turnover is less than 1.5 CR in a earlier year, there you can make the payment up to the 29th or 30th June based on the month. So that is one another benefit which is already granted in the GST. Definitely for both the cases, there will be no late fee till the June end. So that are the basic benefit which are granted to all the SMEs right now. Filing of appeal, replies, applications also extended. Exporters, if you are exporter, in that case LUT, letter of undertaking, is required in advance, and without that you cannot export your goods or services. But it has been provided that whatever the LUT which is granted in an earlier will also valid up to the 30th June. It means that up to 30th June 2020, you don't have to get a fresh LUD. Date of filing the refund claim, you are putting the refund claim is also time barred up to the 2 years. So if that date is also extended up to the 30th June, I don't want to go into that. GST audits for the year 18-19, please note that 18-19 and not 19-20. For the year 18-19, which was due on 30th June, is also extended to 30th September 2000. So these are basic overall development or reliefs which are given right now. Now, please understand that till date, there is no relief for May 2020 month onwards. It means that for the month of May, you have to discharge your taxes accordingly without any relief or without any. So that is a basic problem with that all SMEs and all the business players. Now, from that amendments or which are reliefs which are granted, you can see that all the reliefs are curative in nature. It means that the reliefs are given, but there is nothing positive or there is nothing incentive like developments which are made yet in a GST, right? So ठीक है, आप लोगों को बोला गया 30 जून तक पैसा भरोगे तो वो चलेगा, लेकिन ना तो जीएसटी का कोई रेट कम किया गया है और ना ही और कुछ पॉजिटिव इंसेंटिव आपको दिए गए हैं। एक अच्छी बात ये है कि एक्सपोर्ट्स के रिफंड जो है वो सच में बहुत फास्ट हो रहे हैं और लेट मी टेल यू रेड टेपिज्म बिल्कुल नहीं है। हमने एक केस लॉकडाउन के अंदर अहमदाबाद के अंदर जो ऑफिस रेड एरिया में पड़ता है, रेड जोन में पड़ता है, उस ऑफिस का रिफंड 42 lakhs का विदाउट सबमिटिंग एनी फिजिकल डॉक्यूमेंट और विदाउट फिजिकल एनी इंटरेक्शंस, merely on 2 calls we have got recently on before 2 days. It was for an SME, so that is not a small amount. किसी भी SME को अगर 50 लाख रुपया कोई देता है जो उसका ड्यू था अचानक से, so that is very fine. So the export refunds are really getting fast. They are doing it really. GST refunds are really coming in a very fast way. Another benefit is that I don't want to discuss it right now. Okay. Another benefit which is recently introduced or relief which is introduced for some SMEs, it may have faced that rather than making the payment in a correct head, say for example, instead of CGST, you have made the payment of SGST. So practically that amount is blocked and you cannot make an adjustment again make an adjustment of an SGST against the CGST. But that has been now cleared. You can go into an simple filing of one form PMT09 which is online, and you can transfer the money which is blocked in one hit to another. What are the advantages according to the according to me for the GST is that before GST, SME sector was not organized. GST has made the smaller businessmen also organized because now they have to comply every month. So like this, there are many changes according to the due to the GST, not only at SME levels but at all the levels. So even law is very clear. There is no ambiguity much as far as the routine work is concerned. So that has created an environment which multinational companies are looking for when they want to move to any country or any geographical area. Let me tell you, in India, this environment has already been created 3 years back when GST was introduced, right? So that is going to help India in getting the production which is coming out of China now. So indirect benefit will be there for the SMEs, which are really a supporting sector for the major industries. Generally, people have to make according to the GST law, people have to make the payment to the supplier within 180 days. If not, no ITC is available. So the payment of an SMEs will be clear very soon rather than waiting for 180 days, right? So Another is that free flow of ITC has reduced the cost of an SMEs. Let me tell you, it is a very benefit which is very hidden, which SMEs don't understand. Earlier, you were not able to generally get a credit of an excise, which was at 12.5% earlier. But now, due to the GST, you are able to take a full credit against the full your output tax. So SMEs, cost of an SMEs due to the GST has been reduced drastically, which we may not realize, which we may not have realized right now. So that is going to help SME sector very helpfully. So that's all from my part. Anything else you can put down your questions. I will try to answer to the best of my knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Puneet ji. I think that was indeed a very, very valuable session. A lot of good inputs for SMEs. And we definitely feel that GST has put the SMEs also on a uniform landscape where we can start largely competing with the bigger companies, the multinationals, and the companies outside. However, there are concerns as far as GST is concerned in our country. And there are 3-4 concerns which are very, very clear. One, I would also request you to probably note down these concerns, which can later be taken up or be put on to the government by Chandrakant sir. And one of the major concern has always been that in this entire pandemic and crisis, can we look at probably staggering the GST payment, at least for 3 to 6 months, if not 6 months, can we look at least 3 months? Ideally, it should be 6 to 9 months. Second, all the developed economies have a real-time GST, credit. Whereas in our country, we are still looking at a cycle, a GST credit cycle and the accrued cycle. There is a difference between, these two cycles, which actually puts a lot of burden on the SMEs. I think that is one area where SMEs will definitely need a lot of handholding and could be, support from the government's end. Third important point is there are a lot of goods which also have been put into a higher GST slab, wherein it's very difficult to probably price that specific product and add the GST and increase the price of the product, which is very, very difficult for SME. I think that's where a lot of SMEs have gone back to the government on reduction of GSTs. A lot of inputs have been taken, absorbed, and been executed, and while a lot of products are still on the way. So I think these are the 3-4 very important points from a SME perspective that needs to be looked at when it comes to compliance and specifically GSTs. More or less since inception, I think when the GST was introduced, the SMEs are fairly in a better space, better mindset and space where they are able to comply. They understand what is GST. There is a specialized person in case if there is not, probably they have been taking help from GST consultants. But ideally, these 3-4 things are going to be very, very important in reviving the Indian economy and to an extent the SMEs of this country.
Yeah, Ravi, I will like to add one more thing if you permit. In a GST, there is already a provision which says that you can defer your payment up to 24 months if commissioner permits in installments. So suppose any SME is not able to make the payment right now for the purpose of for the GST, they can apply to the commissioner, and commissioner can grant you the permission of 24 months installments up to 24 months will be granted to you, right? And if it is granted till that time, no any action will be taken, your number will be working and you can do your business as good. So that is one good provision which can be helpful in this time right now.
Very, very. I think that's a very important point, Puneetji. That's a very important point and a very good suggestion, I think, from your end, which can definitely be utilized by a lot of our participants and SME owners. So thank you. Thank you so much. Do we have Mr. Chaudhary as a part of the session?
Some technical issues happen,
Okay.
so he can't join now, and
Okay.
I think we will take forward. Uh, the point and the suggestions given by Mr. Prajapati is very interesting and very important for the SME sector. Friends, a lot of friends from the joined today from the Ahmedabad, Gujarat region. So I would like to suggest them to associate with the chamber to take advantage of our support services, because most of the manufacturing industry from Gujarat looking for a new avenues, new business opportunities, and they are always exploring the business collaboration with the foreign companies, trying to target the new market for exports. So I request all the the delegates and the businessmen from the Gujarat to associate with us as a member and to take advantage, particularly for the technology, advanced technology, patented technology. Another most important, the new business opportunity, particularly for export. Those are looking to import some quality products or equipments, machines, a turnkey project. We can support them. Another very interesting point now, the most of the Japanese and Korean companies, those are doing business in China. They are going to come out from China and they would like to set up business. So Gujarat and Maharashtra will be the prominent states to identify the business partners. So chamber is playing very important role. We have a India, Japan. SME Business Council. So through that, we have now started identify some Japanese companies. Those are looking to, or those are knocking the door of India for particularly identifying ready-made industrial premises, ready-made industries. Those are having the capacity to manufacture quality products, manufacture as a contract manufacturer. So with this world, I think I welcome all of you to share your company profile, share your business ideas, business capacity, so that we can support you. I think Ravi, we will stop here today, and I'm very much thankful to Puneet Prajapati ji to sharing his thoughts. I'll be very happy. I'm very happy that Yashash Sampath explore very unique concept about the insurance. You have to buy insurance. Without insurance, you will not survive, because the SME will not be able to tolerate or able to to take the loss of any particular life where